All right, we're live. What's up, guys? It's your boy Young Breezy. It's been a hot 2 minutes.
I know it's super long. Let me see if you even live on my screen, so I can see my computer screen. But how you
Uh,
been, man?
I'm doing great. We're here with Rogue Hero, a longtime friend in the game and outside of the game as well. Me and him kind of pretty much came up in the not he was around in the game more than when I before I started, but as far as the YouTube game went, I feel like we pretty much kind of came up around the same time, if I'm correct.
Oh yeah, we definitely started around the same time, and it's been a blast, bro. Like doing YouTube and everything. I kind of like low key missed the old community that started when I started. Like you, there were a few other guys who just all quit, but that's life happens and everything like that.
Yeah, we find new hobbies and life kind of just gets in the way that kind of stops us from, I guess, doing what we love.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So, I guess to start off with our first topic, which we're kind of just going off of before we started, of course, was the price support. I know that's been a big thing within the community and on YouTube. That's been a big talk. What's your? I know you didn't you do a video on it?
I just dropped. Well, I did a couple videos on it. One video actually kind of I wouldn't even say it went viral, but for I guess for YouTube standards, it kind of went. I got like 14K views, which I guess in YouTube standards that was pretty good. But it did okay. Like I think the thumbnail, I've been using AI for my thumbnails recently. That's just been helping a lot. But yeah,
Hey,
my main arguments it's been a big issue in the community with the pricing. Players are like tired of spending a lot of money on the game because
hmm
when you factor in how expensive decks are, traveling, and everything that goes into playing this game at a high competitive level, the potential prizing to win outside of the clout really ain't worth it. So I think players are just finally started, and then when you have new games, rather like One Piece, Lorcana, and even older games like Pokemon and Magic, doing better for their players than what Yu-Gi-Oh is getting, it starting to make people think, why am I playing Yu-Gi-Oh when Lorcana just came out? Their events look way more fun to be at than Yu-Gi-Oh events. They don't have to deal with the strict BS that Yu-Gi-Oh players have to deal with. And I can potentially win a card that's going to give me some real cash. Like I think there was like a Mickey Mouse card. I told you before the stream it was 15K. I think it was 30K at a big
hmm
Lorcana event. Like it was like a golden Mickey Mouse, like alternate art card that people were paying top dollar to win. And I personally know a few Yu-Gi-Oh players in my area who's been playing Lorcana and have been having a blast. They like one guy even got his girlfriend involved and she plays. So there's also the simplicity aspect of these other card games versus Yu-Gi-Oh. And the players are just fed up because we don't want the game that we love to die. That's where the frustration, in my opinion, is coming from. It's not because people want more than what Konami can give us. Konami has the resources to give us better. Konami has the resources to do better for the players, but the events are boring. The prizes are lackluster, and if when you're going to YCS, it's hard as fuck to even make day two, let alone top 31 event.
Oh yeah.
And like I day two to YCS Indy with my UBL deck. I felt very accomplished. I was like top 200 for sure to make day two, but I didn't get anything for making day two. In games like Lorcana, you can day two you might not win nothing expensive, but you can make a card. I think you could have won a card that was worth like $400, a couple $100. So like even though you're not getting like the top prizing, you're getting something to show, hey, your skill set was appreciated versus Yu-Gi-Oh! Where it's like you get nothing for day two, and then when you do make top 32, you get a play mat, nothing else, and it's just like boring, dry prizing, and players are just waking up saying, "Why are we playing this?" Now,
Right.
there's also the other argument like I just made in my video that I just dropped that players are just bluffing, and then once Konami gives us a ban list, everyone's gonna get back in line. So it's been
Yeah.
real weird, honestly.
I mean that's always happened. You had the people that are like, oh well, I hate this game, and everything, and then they end up quitting. There's a ban list dropped. Everybody comes back. This is their favorite card or their favorite deck. Is playable and everything. And like as far as like the price support and everything, I definitely get it because now like the older we got, of course, you got a lot more adults playing the game and everything. So you are looking more on a time, I guess, more of a time consuming aspect. I'm spending, again, you got the time to travel, which is understandable. The money you're putting in for that, depending on where it's at, your hotel cost,
Yep.
where you're gonna stay, you not let alone your deck, and everything else. And there's really nothing to really kind of show. And like, I kind of wish that Yu-Gi-Oh would kind of do something similar with like Pokemon, and I feel like this would draw a little bit more people as far as at least from what I've seen for the support. Like, don't they give like the money for like either tuition or towards something else or whatever? But like that could set up kids in a way for that, if that's something that they do choose to get into. Or even like like back in the day, like you were saying, with the laptop, or something, like give something you're able to actually use. Not everybody wants a Nintendo Switch. Not everybody wants this prize card that's not able to be playable. Because I
Right.
remember, was it back what was it, Nashville Nats, when we had first met and everything. Then I'm pretty sure they had a card that, like, it wasn't playable, but it wasn't a vanilla card. I think the last three prize cards from what I had seen were vanilla cards. Nobody wants to see that.
Right. It was like they had the cards that were like, if you attack life points directly and hit them 0, you win the game. Like those were cool too. But I think even those had their flaws. I've personally noticed a decrease in a lot of competitive players' willingness to play when they stopped giving us unique prize cards. Like, okay, remember in 2014 when Giant Hand was like a prize card?
Hmm.
Giant Hand wasn't that broken. It wasn't on the level of Crush Card. But if you wanted to play the XYZ package to this full power, you needed you a Giant Hand. So in essence, you had a small advantage, not much, over the opponents. And I guess players got sick of that shit because they were like, okay, we want a Giant Hand. It hasn't been reprinted. And Konami just said, okay, we're just going to start printing cards that are just, that's not really worth it. But I was always one of those players. Like, hey, the prize card thing is cool. Even back in the Crush Card days, even though I didn't play at a competitive level, on a high level, back when I was younger, when the Crush Card stuff was like, if you win this event, you get a Crush Card. That's like a three. That's like winning 3K right there. Back in the early 2000s. So you justify inflation. That's like winning 6K. When you like look at those prize cards back then to now, it's like night and day. But I do understand the argument that those gave people a huge advantage. But like I was telling you, like the other card games like Lorcana and One Piece and things like that, people do want collectibles. Like instead of giving us a generic prize card, they could always give us, like, let's say for example, the YCS prize for this season was like a Dark Magician and had like a YCS stamp with unseen artwork. That's an official YCS prize card. I think that'd be a good idea because it's an iconic card. Collectors will want it. You can only get it by winning a YCS. It's not overpowered, and it's something that people would actually want and that will sell. Like I said, people Konami don't want to give us cash. That's perfectly fine if they don't want to do that. But there's other alternatives, honestly.
Exactly. And then of course, like I think, something like with ARG was doing. I mean, yeah, they were doing the cash, but like you can still turn that into something else, whether like, it might be a product, it might be, I don't know, let's say you top or whatever, you get a spot or whatever, kind of like they're doing the VIP stuff. You get a spot in the next YCS or a free round or something. Like, give us a little something, like that's just going off the top of the head, of something they can give out. Um, so like, I don't. As far as like the whole price support goes, again, I've been I've been away from the game for
Right.
a hot minute, so I haven't really like kept up as far as what everybody gets. But I
So
feel,
I'll refer. I'll speed you up a little bit. So right now, if you win a YCS, it's kind of worth it. You kind of break even depending on what YCS you go to. Like winner gets like a vanilla prize card that's I think worth like $500 on the market. You get the Nintendo Switch, and then I think you get like I think you either get like travel accommodations or something like something. It's not a lot, but you kind of break even if you win with the trophy and everything like that. but compared to other games, it's not really nothing. Like you win a Pokemon level YC, like you win a Pokemon YCS, you win 10K. There's no competing with that. Same thing with Magic. You win a Magic YCS, you're winning about 10K, maybe 20K depending on the event. Like I said, if you win a One Piece or a Locana, you might not win 10K, but you win a card that can sell for a lot of money. So it's kind of like players are starting to think, dude, I can go play these other card games and rack up. I like, as you said, which is a good point. Players are getting older now, and players are thinking about more of their time they're putting into this hobby versus what they're getting out of it. Like, and some people say, well, it's a hobby, so hobbies cost money and you should do it for the love of the game, which I understand. But at the same time, if you're competitive in your hobby, you want something. I don't think there's any competitive hobby out there, and I might be wrong, where people are just playing for the love of the game. Unless you do like a local bowling tournament or some shit like that, you might win a trophy and you're happy with that, right? But even in those aspects, like local little bowling tournaments and local little pool tournaments, like out, I'm in Chicago. You can fucking go win a couple $100 winning like a little local bowling league, whatever. It's not a lot of money, but you're having fun with your friends, and there's a good prize at the end of it. People want, adults especially, want something to feel like their time is not being wasted.
Yeah.
And plus, when you combine the fact that the game is already toxic with the format, the decks are hella expensive. We get rarity fucking fucked. I'm sorry, I'm gonna curse.
I don't care, bro.
We get rarity fucked on the damn, like in the OCG. You could 10 pot, like a lot of the decks that's expensive right now in the TCG is like dirt cheap, and like OCG players have like multiple rarities for certain decks. But in the TCG, like our budget deck is 10 pie, and even that deck you got to shell out at least 400 to 500 just to play it. But like I said, back to other games like Pokemon, you can build a top deck on Pokemon for like maybe $100, maybe $80, and go like the cost to win ratio is different. But the thing about those other card games that other places pointed out, they're not as fun as Yu-Gi-Oh. They don't reward you as much as Yu-Gi-Oh does, and it's just different.
Well, and like to kind of go off that, like with the whole Pokemon thing, I've actually kind of ventured my way into learning Pokemon. That just to kind of test the waters, and like I guess gameplay wise, like yeah, it's more of a. It kind of reminds me the pace of like GOAT format in a way, to a point, but because Pokemon has so many broken cards. Like the game. I mean, the game
like
can almost
say draw 6, draw
right. Well, and there's so many different concepts to where like with different decks to where like there's a couple cards or a deck that's themed around putting counters and everything on your bench Pokemon or your active Pokemon. And like another way to get your prize cards to end the game faster. You got Charizard EX. That's something that's that has seen play within like Worlds or whatever this past Worlds that they had. But seems like with those games you can play just about almost any deck and there can be any outcome versus like with Yu-Gi-Oh, it's always been we'll say the top 3 decks, or you might have like a 1.5 or a top tier 2 deck that you can play, but you have to literally grind and you got to know the ins and out of the matchups, what to side, what not to side, everything else. So like those games, there's a better chance, I guess, in actually winning and having, I guess, more of a reward from what I've seen just from playing Yu-Gi-Oh and going into Pokemon. I've only been playing online, but still grasping another card game, it wasn't.
No, that's actually good insight on that. I haven't played Pokemon in years. I remember playing it when I was younger, like when I was in high school and a little bit before high school. And it was really fun, but we played casually. We didn't really play with the ban list and shit like that. So, but we played with the actual rules, and it's a fun game. I mean, obviously, my love was Naruto, but that game died because Bandai fucked it back. And Naruto, before it died, it had similar game mechanics. It was like a combination of Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh, because they had like the team battle aspect and different shit like that, and different like strategies that you really can't do in Yu-Gi-Oh. Like there were a lot of tempo based strategies in Naruto, which tempo is meaning like you got a lot of weaker guys, but since you got a bunch of them and there's not enough to block them, you can actually do some heavy damage. So there's little different strategies in like games like Magic and Pokemon, and probably that you can't really get away with in Yu-Gi-Oh. And in Naruto, there was side decking as well, but it just died because, like I said, Bandai fumbled the bag, and it didn't really get the advertising it did. So I think other card, I don't know how Locana is, but I think other cards have the potential to be better than Yu-Gi-Oh. But it's just different, man. Like you said, Pokemon is like it's not the aspect of the Yu-Gi-Oh. I will say when I do win in Yu-Gi-Oh, it's very, very rewarding. It feels good. I'm not gonna lie, it feels good. Like I said, side decking is the most intricate card game. It really is. But when you don't feel rewarded for playing, it's like playing chess. When we don't feel rewarded for playing it, it's annoying. And then not to mention the game is sacky yourself. But
Exactly. I mean,
but
and that's the thing. And just from going to events and playing in locals and everything, the outcome can be anything. You can break, your opponent can break. Like
yeah,
it's just anything can happen. But I mean, I definitely get where you're coming from as far as like the game pretty much like it how do I want to put it? It makes you use your mind a lot more than I guess more than what you're used to.
yeah.
I guess. I think that's the way I was going to put it because
No, that's good. That's actually really smart.
you sit there and you think like what again going back to the siding thing, what am I going to side against these certain matchups, or what am I going to put in my side deck, or what's going to be at the event, or again like these strategies and everything like that. Like there's just so much to the game that can help you open your mind more than what you could have or you're used to, I guess, again going back to that. But yeah, it is definitely been a road. I could say that as far as how the game's changed throughout the years when we started and to where it is now. As far as the current state of the game, going into a new ban list, what would you like to see?
Personally, I would like to see Yugioh get a slap on the wrist. I know the deck is broken, but I don't think it's overpowered. I just think it's a really good tier one deck. I want to see Snake Eyes get slaughtered. I don't know if you know anything about the Snake Eye deck,
I
but
have I've watched it.
okay, so yeah, Snake Eyes is goofy. It just needs to get slaughtered, honestly. Like the deck is like sprites on steroids. That's the best way to describe it for you guys that do not know who may have took a break, like my boy here. I want to see that deck get slaughtered. I want to see. I don't. I want to see a lot of stuff come off the ban, like stuff we haven't seen in a while, like the wind up support. I just want the ban list to make sense again. And I think personally, a dream ban list will be a game reset. Like I think it'd be dope if Konami just said, you know what, screw ban list, we're doing set rotation. I know
Yeah.
that's going to turn a lot of players off, and we'll have a lot of players quit. But I will say, from playing a game like Naruto and Pokemon that had set rotation, bro, it is the best thing every card game needs, in my opinion. Because
Yeah.
the biggest argument with Yu-Gi-Oh is you can't have set rotation because I like playing my decks from 20, 30 years ago. Guess what? You're not going to win with those decks anyway. And we have things like Edison format that's getting more popular. You can go play in those format. Konami's adopted Time Wizard, which is like their version of Edison. So you
Yeah.
can go do those things if you want to use your old decks. I think the main game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Power creepers have hit so much of a peak to the point there's not much Konami can do to print decks that's worth making without banning everything, starting over with a core set, which is going to give you all like the current staples like an Ash Blossom. They might not give you a Fake Veiler. Just different things to make the game more fair. Then they can release these weaker archetypes like aliens, for example, and ice barriers, and slowly evolve those archetypes over the years. So by the time Nat's rolling around, they're at full power. The players get attached to those archetypes, and then next format. I mean, we didn't put a lot of money into the game anyway, but next format, ban most of the stuff and reset it all over, and give us half of the stuff here. There's many different ways you can go about it, but if you never did block format, I definitely would have liked to see personally. Block format, I won't be mad. Like my hero deck can get mad. I don't care. I mean, it's a hobby. I can play different alternative formats that are popular. Like I said, Edison's very popular. I personally been considering getting into Edison because Edison is big money in Edison. Like one of my buddies of mine, he has an Edison channel named Hector. He actually flew down to California with his homies and actually won the Edison event. I think the event had like 200 to 300 people, and like he won like 3 Alti Caiuses, which was worth like $2,400.
That's insane.
Yeah,
Like
like the Alti Caiuses are like 800 piece right now. So
it,
Edison has pretty fun events. It's not that like everyone's not like super hyper competitive because it's like a lot of older players. They're more mature. They're not smelling up the room. The events seem to be ran properly. So I think the future for Yu-Gi-Oh, even if Konami punts the game, I think Edison is one of the things that's going to keep the game alive, honestly. And I would
oh,
love to see
definitely.
Konami to say, screw it, set rotation. People who want to bitch about the game, let them quit. People who actually want to stay and give it a shot, like myself, we just gonna have fun at tournament. And then of course, like I think with a banless announcement, they need to announce, okay, hey, we hear the community, we take ownership, and then say, hey, we're gonna increase the price for it. We don't know what we're gonna do yet, but we're gonna do something to make it better. I will say this is off topic. I
Yeah.
do like what they did with the I don't know if you've been following. They have like a celebrity thing going on. Where, like there's like a shadow duelist in
I
Master Duel, and there's like a
so I actually, because I'm still in a bunch of the groups and I've seen screenshots.
yeah.
Haven't really looked into that, but I did see that people were talking like to see who exactly it was and under the mask or whatever.
Yeah,
I haven't ventured my way into the whole master duel nonsense.
Master Duel is cool. Like a lot of my buddies who used to play Yu-Gi-Oh, and like a lot of my childhood friends, like actually play Master. Even my nephews who don't even play TCG because it's so damn expensive when they're young. Still, they're like 18 or 7. They're broke young students. They play Master Duel. So Master Duel is cool, and I think Master Duel has definitely got a lot of veterans back to my game. Like even like locally, like I meet a lot of people all the time who said, "Hey, I played Yu-Gi-Oh when I was younger. I used to go to locals. I quit. I haven't touched the game in 20 years. I caught back up on Master Duel, and now I'm playing again." And they immediately get turned off by the current game. So, but Master Duel is very popular, and I just think this whole duel, like the Shadow Duelist thing, while it's a cool concept and you can win a cool product, which you can win the mask apparently, but like I think this would have been better like 10 years ago when like during like the XYZ era
Yeah,
when the game wasn't so toxic and people actually cared about doing things like that. Truthfully, this would have been dope as hell back in the early 2000s. So like I could see myself as a kid being pretty hyped to try to figure out who it is. Like I like little quirky, corny shit like that because it makes the game kind of fun. But I think they just need to put more attention out of Master Duel and spread it to the TCG just a little bit because I feel like they're pumping a lot of attention towards Master Duel, and it's really not helping their bottom line for the TCG. Or maybe they just don't give a shit because the OCG. Apparently, I read when I watch a lot of YouTube videos, I read comments in the comment section. I think I watched a Capital G video, and there was an OCG player that said in the comment section, even in the OCG, players are kind of low key quitting because they're kind of sick of like the power creep, the lack of prize support, and then other card games just do things better.
yeah. I mean,
But
there's always
I think Yu-Gi-Oh's not even like in the best. It's not the best card game in Japan. I think Duel Masters is better than Yu-Gi. It's more popular in Japan than Yu-Gi-Oh. And that game died in America a while ago.
well, and I know like because like my issue when it came to, and this is what kind of started it, like when there's a new card game or whatever that comes out, was when Dragon Ball came out with the Dragon Ball Super card game.
Right.
And then after, like, it had the big hype and everything. And then
Mm-hmm.
next thing you know, it just, at least from what I've seen, it kind of just fell off.
It
Like, it
did.
wasn't as popping. And I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, okay, so any new card game that comes out is just going to be
It's like
hyped
a fad.
exactly, and it's going to have that domino effect. But I mean, I do like the fact that now we do have other options to where, okay, I want to take a break from this. Let me go ahead and try another card game, or something else to use my time and make it a little bit more valuable. You know, and kind of like with you brought up the Edison and everything that they're doing the GOAT formats too. I like the fact that they are introducing that more into the tournaments as like a side event and everything, because
Right.
it gives you something else to do when you're not in the main event. Or even if you're just going there to hang out with friends and you're bored or whatever, hey, let me go ahead and enter in Edison, or you know, maybe that was your favorite format. Let me go ahead and do this. And I felt like this, I don't remember when it was I made the video, but it was the fact of, unless I brought it up in the podcast, that I feel like Konami needs to bring back some of these old formats so they can drive more attendance and attention back into the game. Because, I mean, that's where they're going to also make more money too. And, you know, they're always about making money. So, but just being able to get your old friends back into the game, or just drive more people into it, because those formats aren't as toxic as the current game. Like, good. Konami's finally doing something. I mean, I guess positive.
Right.
I
Like,
mean, and go ahead.
like I was gonna say, I personally think they just need a pop in anime. Like they need a really good anime that's gonna that's gonna hook the younger generation. Because I think the last really good Yu-Gi-Oh anime was Zexo. I used to watch that shit. Like that shit came out when I think you were probably in high school. I was in my early 20s.
Yeah.
That shit came out. I used to go to work every day and watch Zexo every Saturday morning. And they got my nephews into the game. So it's kind of like that hit my nephew's generation, which is like the 17 and up crowd right now. But my son's generation, my son's 12. His generation can give two shits about Yu-Gi-Oh! So I
Yeah,
think
they
if they had a
don't.
poppin' anime that's like, they need a good anime. So whatever they need to do in Japan, they need to hire good writers. I think personally they need to hire the writers from Beyblade, because Beyblade in Japan, like it had like I don't know if you follow the shit, but like they had like a actual a boost, upward boost with my son's generation, where it was really popular like pre-COVID and throughout the entire COVID era. And it's still kind of popular now, but it's starting to die down a little bit because lack of an anime, or the current anime just not as popular as like the older ones were. But my whole point is the storyline was actually good. The most recent Yu-Gi-Oh anime has just been boring, honestly. And I think the most recent one, but it wasn't even about Yu-Gi-Oh, it's about Rush Duel. So it's like
Yeah,
it's a Yu-Gi-Oh anime, but it's not really a Yu-Gi-Oh anime. It's technically just its own thing, because Rush Duels, even though they're technically Yu-Gi-Oh, it's not Yu-Gi-Oh. It's a different game using Yu-Gi-Oh cards. So it's kind of like they don't have an anime to hook players. So whoever like is in charge of the anime department for Yu-Gi-Oh, I think they need to fire that guy personally. But that's my TCG mindset. Apparently, Rush Duels is very popular in Japan, though. Like apparently, their locals actually have females playing it. So Rush Duels is a simpler way of Yu-Gi-Oh, but that's kind of like saying fuck you to the longtime players like me and yourself,
okay.
who've been playing with the original shit for a long time, and then they want to come out with this new, pretty much a new format, a new way of playing, and give
Mhm.
all that attention for the anime versus doing what Duel Monsters did, where in the first season of Duel Monsters, they showed you the Yu-Gi-Oh anime, they showed you the Yu-Gi-Oh cards, they wanted to introduce the Dungeon Dice Monster shit, and they actually had like a special episode where the main character, which was Yugi, did
Mhm.
Dungeon Dice Monsters for like a couple episodes, and then went back to playing Yu-Gi-Oh. So I think Rush Duels would have been better as an introductory thing during anime, and then eventually spinning off as to its own thing if that episode was popular enough. But that's just my thoughts.
Right. I wanted to pop this up
Yeah,
because
no problem.
we were talking about the price support and everything. If Yu-Gi-Oh gave gaming or gamer PCs instead of Switches, we'd be good. I do
I
feel like
agree,
that definitely could be
bro. They give out NZXT PCs. I'll be down. Like the PCs are sick. Like I bought my son
oh
one, bro.
yeah.
That thing is fucking huge. It lights up. And it could interchange the ins, bro. I'm like, every time I
Yeah.
look at it when I go to his house, I'm like, man, I should have bought that for myself. This is
Yeah.
a sick PC.
I feel like too, because I have looked at a lot of the Master Duel streamers and everything.
Yeah,
Of course, they're wanting to put Master Duel more out there as well. This can give somebody who doesn't have that chance, that wants to be able to stream like a cool deck or make content or something, go ahead and this would be an investment. A better a drive and motivation to, I guess, get not only more players in, but players to continue to play the game because it's a way better price support than
Right.
what they're currently getting.
Hey, give me one
Um,
second. I got my family's calling. Give me 1 second, bro. Hold
yeah,
on.
you're good. You're good. Um, but yeah, I definitely do agree with that, and I do definitely love, like I was saying before, the current things that they were doing with bringing back older formats and everything, because that does give people who did quit the current game because the format was toxic or the game is toxic, you know, go ahead and play either your favorite deck from that format, like Edison or even Go format, and give you that ability to just enjoy the game even more. Um, I just I like that. I'm glad they're doing that as well. I'm just hoping that they add more to this. I guess more or less to say in the near future, because I kind of stopped playing the game. Oh
All right, I'm back,
God,
bro.
you're good. I think I stopped playing the game around. I think this was the Despia format. And I went to the recent regional that we had around that time, and I built Despia. I loved the way that the deck played and everything. And I was starting out good, and then what did I end up facing? I don't know. I got tilted by some deck, and then it went all downhill from there. And then, of course, when they brought up the structure deck for Dark World, your boy had to hop on that. And I don't know. I think I was more or less after that, just playing around with the game, just because, like, just I guess to me, I did play meta here and there, but to me, I wasn't having as much fun as I thought I was. It was fun learning the deck, but after you do learn that, yeah, it is a great deck at that time. But at the end of the day, like, you're gonna learn how that deck plays and the ins and outs. So why am I gonna continue to play this deck for whatever reason because it's the best deck? No, I'm trying to have fun. That's why
Right.
I switched. I switched into, well, I didn't really switch right away, but I went ahead and it was like, okay, one, life's a thing. Unfortunately, most Yu-Gi-Oh players don't know what that is.
Yeah. Bro,
um,
people go to events every week. I'm like, dude, how do y'all have full-time jobs and get to go to events every damn week? I'm like,
right.
either y'all are like selling drugs on the low, or y'all are just rich kids, cause like, or y'all was like born in a rich family. I'm like, how the hell? Like everyone who's like a streamer, I get like a YouTuber who's a streamer, like a Team Sam. I get it. He's rich,
Mm,
clearly, but like, or he made this is his career. But like, for the average Joe, who I know some people personally who I know damn well they don't got a lot of money. They're good at the game,
mhm.
but I don't understand how they have enough money to travel to every fucking event. Like I don't get it. Like, but they make
I,
a way.
mm, I mean, I guess it just honestly depends on the type of job that they have and everything else. But I'm sure people also pawn things.
Oh
People,
yeah.
you
I
know,
found out at my last job, I was working at AT&T for a while. And I found out this from my coworkers. A lot of people, what they do, they put trips on, like they finance trips. I'm like, I
mhm.
wonder how many Yu-Gi-Oh players are financing their trips. Go to a YCS, pay it off in like 8 payments and shit. I'm like, that's nuts. Like
Shit.
I know
Let
during
me.
the COVID lockdown, people were doing those PPP loan scams and buying Yu-Gi-Oh decks and shit.
I heard people were doing some shady stuff with that. Like, it mind boggles me what people do for our hobby and everything. While I'm just here, like, okay, I'll get the card whenever I get it, and if
That's
not,
me. Like everyone was like, "Why don't you build full power Bell with the Fiend Smith?" I'm like, I don't care. I'm not going to. Like I literally damn near got into an argument with a buddy of mine who he's trying to help the channel out, and he's like, I would loan you a Thingsmith stuff. I'm like, I appreciate the offer, but there is no point. I'm not going to any big events, and I'm not going to locals, and God forbid I damage one of your cars. Now I owe you a couple $100. I don't want to deal with that. He's like, you're a content creator. You can just do different things with the cars. I'm like, don't take offense to this, but I mean, thank you, but no thank you. Like, if I were going to a big event and playing, it'd be one thing. But if I'm just going to locals, I don't give a shit. Like, I really don't care. Like, and I don't really, like, I can go buy, like, I have money. I'm not broke. I'm not rich, but I'm not broke. I can go buy a whole Thingsmith engine right now and not lose a sleep about it. But I can't be irresponsible with my money.
Right.
And I'm not going to pay all that money just to go win locals. Like, it's locals at the end of the day.
Yeah. What are you going to get either in store credit, or are you going to get a couple packs? And half the time you don't even get anything out of it.
And a little bit of local clout, because people do care about that shit. But like,
oh my god, I hate that.
You already know. Like, yeah, I did get it. Like, it's like, yeah, you did get a locals. Who fucking cares? Like, it's cool, it's fun. I get it, but when we leave the car shop and get back to reality, it's like, all right. At least for me, maybe because I've been doing it for so long, I'm like, maybe I'm just outgrowing this shit, honestly. And I think about that a lot. Maybe I'm just outgrowing this shit. And I need to explore different hobbies. But for me, when I go to locals and I win every week, I get bored. I'm like, I need to take a break. I'm winning every week. I'm bored. But when I'm losing, I have more fun when I lose.
Yeah. Because you're like, well, fuck, I need it. What do I need to change to this?
Exactly.
It's kind of like going back to the how we started in a way, to where it's like, okay, I'm losing. What do I need to tweak? What are my ratios I need to work out and everything? And it just makes it, I guess, this is not a word, but funner.
Yeah, like, I ain't gonna lie. I actually enjoy this is a big conversation in the community a few weeks ago. I personally enjoy playing locals more than like YCSs. Like, especially like when locals have like the OTS championships where you can win when you can win those little fucking trophy things. Like, I went to OTS, I won me my fucking first trophy back here, like a third place trophy at the OTS championship. I got my invite to nationals, and it was fun. It was like a low stress event. It lasted about maybe 5 or 6 hours. I got a bunch of packs, a bunch of store credit. I got a nice little trophy that if I wanted to, I could have sold for like a couple $100 if somebody wanted to buy it on eBay. So it's like I actually won something of value, and I had fun doing it. But YCS and regionals, it's a stress of it, going to the event, traveling with your friends. And after you do that shit, like for the younger guys who's getting into it, like traveling and shit, they're not gonna understand this. But for us veterans who's been doing this shit for so fucking long, going to an event, shacking up the hotel rooms, it's like once you do a road trip here and there, it's fun. When you do like your 5th or 6th road trip for the 3rd year in a row, on that year, it gets kind of old and boring. Some people don't get bored that fast. I personally get bored as fuck. I'm like, all right. Like, when I went to Indy, I had a buddy that wanted to travel with me, and I'm like, man, look, no offense, but unless you're gonna help me out with half these hotel fees, I'm on my own. Like,
right. Well, and that's like, so what was it? Yeah, it was when YCS Indy was announced and everything. A couple buddies that I went to when Nats was in Texas. Not obviously, what was it? This recent one, but I forgot what year it was. But anyways, I was like, hey, I might want to try and go up there. Do you want to go? And he's like, nah, I'm not really like feeling the game and stuff like that. And like another reason why they don't want to travel either is because when we went to Texas, this is literally the most Yu-Gi-Oh 101 thing you don't do is go to your car and put your stuff in there. We all know that. Like, right. But they've never actually sat there and traveled. So they were kind of, I guess, a noob to the traveling scene. And they just didn't want to travel no more because of those reasons. And unfortunately, we have people in the game like that are shysty, that drive people from not wanting to play. Because again, you do have people who do spend thousands of dollars on this game, and poof, it could be gone like that.
Exactly.
So I don't know.
It's so many people that get their windows busted out of the events, and it's bogus. But like, that's a real thing when decks are costing thousands of dollars and people see you as an easy come up.
Yeah, unfortunately. What is it? How much more time you got left?
I mean, we can go a little bit longer. It's up to you.
Okay.
You
All
got more
right.
questions.
So, obviously we've been playing the game for a couple years now. What would you say your favorite format was?
2014. Maybe I'm biased because that was the only format I topped through YCS. But I really feel like 2014 was very fun because I felt like the game was in a perfect balance of not being too broken, but also broken at the same time. Like we had combo decks, but they weren't like one card, make a big board of like Omni Negator combo decks. It was literally I'm playing gadgets. If I have my 3-card combo, I can pop off. But if I don't open my 3-card combo, I'm not going to automatically lose. Versus nowadays, where it's like damn near every monster is a 1-card starter. And if your deck doesn't play monsters that are, if your deck don't play at least 2 to 3 monsters that are 1-card starters, or at the very least have a bunch of easy ways to do 2-card combos, you're fucked. You're just gonna lose flat out. So
Yeah.
definitely 2014 because I think for me the game started to take a decline when they introduced pendulums into the game. I didn't really like pendulums. I hated pendulums. I never played a pendulum deck either, by the way, now that I think about it.
I did.
And not because I like don't like pendulum, it's just that I'm sorry, I don't like pendulums, but I understand I don't mind the concept, especially since considering they revamped it now and they changed the way the rules are for pendulums. But like when pendulums first came out, it drove a lot of players away from the game because literally if you weren't playing pendulums, you weren't winning. Because it was a lot of games I personally remember having where I would be beating people, but because I wasn't able to break their pin scales, they're just gonna pin some and everything right back, and me breaking their board. I had to strategize to break their board and outplay them. They just had a button that says, "Okay, I get all my monsters back. Now I win."
Right. I see. I did play pendulums, and I was for a while playing the FTK build.
Yeah,
I had to be that guy.
nothing wrong with that, man. If it exists, play it.
And
Like,
well, and it was like with Cleaforts too. I only played it for a little bit to learn because at the time, when before I started getting more competitive, I would be in part of the teams or clans or whatever on what was it, Dueling Network back then.
right,
And a buddy of mine was like, yo, he's like, whoever gets, we had a little point system. So you had, if you beat somebody with a team name or whatever, by a match, you get like 2 points or some single 1 point. So me and a friend were like, you know what, fuck it. We're going to climb the ladder with Towers
right.
Turbo. And I just after playing it, like that deck was cancer. Like
It was.
it was. It was what, barely any outs, maybe to him, from what I can remember. But I was on the opposite end too.
Yeah,
So
that
I
and Pepe
understood the
too.
game.
Pepe was toxic
Right.
as hell.
Oh God. But
But be thankful you didn't play during. I don't think you played during the like last winter when everything was the playing on the opponent's turn with the Fire King deck
I
with
watched
the what's that fucking deck called? The milling. I can't think of the damn deck name right now to save my life.
that they mixed with Fire Kings.
No, it was that dark deck that you can mill some of the guys out and then they fusion someone when they get milled. I can't think of the deck
Oh,
name to slip my mind though.
okay. I don't remember the deck right now, but
Yeah, but you notice why it was a deck that
I
literally plays on the opponent's turn.
now you're gonna make my mind race because I'm not gonna remember. It was during Fire King format, right?
It was before. It's like I can't think of the damn name to save my life. I'm gonna look it up right now. But they still play some of the cards now in different decks. What was this deck called? It was a fusion deck.
Fusion.
See, I call myself
It
competitive.
wasn't. I know. I know it wasn't tier. I know that for a fact.
Tillerman.
Oh, okay. So it was tier.
Yeah, tier played on the opponent's turn.
My guy.
It was definitely Tillerman for sure.
I hated that deck.
Like literally tier. I don't know if you played on that format, bro, but tier literally you start your turn, reveal, mill, fusion. Oh, mill again, fusion, mill again, fusion, mill top 10 of your cards in your deck. I'm like, bro, that deck was so annoying.
It was. I would put it up there like Tier was more broken, but I would say Thunder Dragons were up there for me. Like it was
they were toxic. You make the lock, it was like over. But yeah, compared to Tier, man, Tier was just like, the game is annoying when you haven't started your turn and your opponent's already doing stuff. Like, I don't think decks like that should exist. And I was playing Fire Kings back then. I'm like, I need to play something else because Heroes ain't gonna cut it this format. Even though there was a lot of hero players that stuck to the guns and played Heroes and did well with the deck, I'm just like, man, I'm tired of struggling. Like you have to think so hard when you use a deck like Heroes. It's like I don't want to use my brain that hard. Like I gotta think every little play and every little detail. Nah, I'd rather just play. I got bored of the deck too, but I'm like, I'd rather just play Fire Kings. It was easy.
My buddy said he's like Tier format was skillful.
It was skillful for the mirror match. Like I definitely understand the mirror match is skillful, but like if you weren't playing Tier, that shit was annoying as hell, and it was sacky as shit. Like
that made me want to play Dark Claw Turbo.
I think even during the Tier format too, I think Crystal Beast was pretty good during that format.
Yeah,
I came back with Crystal Beast. I was using Crystal Beast for a while too, and Crystal Beast could do good because you could run Necro Valley and just shut all that shit off.
Good old I love Necro Valley.
Ain't gonna lie, I think I won a locals with like 3 Crystal Beast structure decks. That's how fucking, bro. Like we shit on Konami a lot. I ain't gonna lie, I do, but like when they do things right, I gotta give them credit. Like Crystal Beast was a fun deck when it first came out, and they instantly power crept that shit quick as fuck.
Well, and like one thing that I will say, and I do like that Konami has done as far as like the structure decks goes, they've gotten a lot better since I've been playing, and to where it's kind of like you can put 3, kind of like what we did with Heroes and kind of like what they were doing with Dinos in a way. That was another way to kind of get more people in. Obviously not to kind of go off topic, but that I felt like that was a good thing that Konami ended up doing for like even for like the new kids and everything. Thoughts on ban list live on Saturday during the stream? I'll
be at work, so I can't watch the stream, unfortunately, but
I'm gonna be it depends on when it gets out or when it comes out or what time, because I'll be at work until 4. So
same. I got off work at 4 as well. 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. So we both gonna get off the work watching Zodiac duels go crazy.
I'm like, what is it? Yeah, you're an hour ahead of me. So yeah, but yeah, I love the schedule. Or the times I get off. But yeah, I mean I can see about doing like my reaction to the ban list, like a live stream or something like that.
Oh, definitely do it, bro. That's easy. If you start to do your content more consistently, man, like we gotta get you to 1,000 subs, man. Like
I'm gonna try.
That's a hack. That's a hack. Like literally just you don't even gotta do a live reaction. Just make a video, give me your opinions. Honestly, you're good. You already articulate yourself very well. I can just tell by listening to you right now. Like, just give your honest opinions on it. Be yourself, and you'll grow to be consistent, man. Like,
it should be. Let's see. It should be out by then. He said 11 EST.
Yeah, 11 probably will be out around that time. That's like 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, and like you're on Eastern Standard Time, so yeah.
I think I'm Central. The older I got, the more I stopped caring.
I get it. How old are you now? 26, 27?
I'm 28.
Oh, you're 28, bro? Damn.
Yeah, bro.
Almost 30.
I know. I feel it. Like, I've had so many injuries throughout the years. Like, obviously, like,
you played football a lot, right?
I stopped, actually.
Okay.
When I had lost my car, unfortunately. Okay. We'll say rest in peace to that. That was due to repossession, unfortunately.
That shit happens, bro. You know,
but
happen, no judgment here.
Right. I've had injuries, so that's what kind of stopped me from wanting to continue to do football too.
Okay.
But I got back pain. I've probably fractured, if not sprained, my left wrist. And yeah, my knees are not what they used to be either. So we're here, bro. We're
Man, you
joining the
gotta,
old
get into
squad.
some mobility workouts, man. Get that strength up.
Yeah, that's what I was doing when I was doing for football. I was doing strength training and everything, and I loved it.
Yeah.
But I was in the mindset of eating on a clean diet. I mean, I know there's the what is it? Is dirt? Is it no, not dirty? Is it? I'm trying to remember what the correct term
Bulking,
is. It's bulking, but it's more of like a lean bulk.
like lean gaining or
Yeah,
main gaining.
yeah. But I was
That's
eating
hard to do. Your
lean.
diet
Yeah,
got to be pointed to that shit.
yeah. I was basically trying to do two things at once: get lean while strength training. Essentially, is what my mindset was. I mean, it's helped throughout the years. Of course, I'm always active. I'm always doing something, whether it's at
Right.
work, I'm at the gym, I'm riding a bike to places. So that's kind of helping. Also, with the eating clean, I've leaned in a couple areas. So, um, but yeah, we getting up
Well, the
there.
main thing is consistency, man. Like I would say,
Oh
don't
yeah.
like I was a personal trainer at one point. I'm still certified until February, but I knew trainers that weren't certified. So the main thing is consistency and figuring out what you want to do and just making a game plan. You don't have to long like my workouts right now are very simple. I go to the gym and I do three exercises. Like
Mhm.
today I did overhead press, I did kettlebell halos, which is just moving a kettlebell around my neck like this with both arms to get my stability muscles nice and strong. And I did a new exercise they call it. It's a dead hang, which is literally you're just hanging yourself from a bar like this and just holding yourself up and it's hanging. And that shit works your forearms, it decompresses your spine. And bro, my back feels amazing right now. I got a lot of low back pain. Like when I was younger, about 10 years ago, actually, when I first started YouTube and I fucked my back up, probably permanently at this point, cause deadlifting like an idiot when I was younger. And like I went to the gym one night, deadlifted like I was doing like speed deadlifts on
Mhm.
315, and I'm like I'm good, I'm good. I woke up in back pain, and that pain it's gotten better over the years, but it never went away. So I definitely tweaked something in my back, and I'm slowly starting to figure the shit out. I think I just strained the muscle. Honestly, I just never healed it properly. So just doing different things as we get older, like mobility work, like dead hangs, it's like working multiple muscles and just not stressing so much about like the small things, you'll be fine, bro. Like I
Well,
definitely could say like I've gained weight during COVID. I was like 230. I've lost a lot of weight. And now I'm slowly getting up to 230, but I've noticed like I've kind of unknowingly lean gained because I've noticed like my muscles are getting more full. I'm gaining more muscle. I
mhm.
still got a belly. I'm still not lean, but I can see my muscles a lot more versus during COVID when I was drinking a lot of alcohol and I wasn't really being that active. That was a rough time for a lot of people. So
Yeah. Well, and like so for me, I've always kind of carried my body weight pretty
right.
well. Um and again, like I can see certain areas to where you can see I'm not lean, but you can see like my shoulders are
Now you've
bulky.
definitely lost a lot of weight, bro. I can tell.
And yeah, and then one thing that a friend of mine that I was playing football with was recommending me instead of weightlifting, do calisthenics. I think it
Okay.
was. So I'm assuming that's more or less of you using your body weight and everything. I
Yeah,
mean,
calisthenics is like body weight training. So like pull-ups, push-ups, burpees, things like that. A lot of athletic stuff. Like if you got the athleticism to do like burpees and shit and pull-ups, I say go for it. Like if you can do a pull-up,
oh
do
hell.
that shit. If you can do push-ups, dips, do it. But I feel like if you like you're not ready for that stuff yet,
Yeah.
take your time and find the main thing about fitness, you gotta find something that works for you. Like I personally couldn't do bodybuilding because I think bodybuilding is just fucking boring. Like I don't like going to the
Yeah,
gym just to lift weights.
it's
I did when I was younger, but as I gotten older, I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of used to the gym. I've been working out off and on since I was 12. I've been consistent since my early 20s, so over 10 years at this point. Like I train specifically for strength training. I find that more fun. For you, you might enjoy bodybuilding, or you might even enjoy CrossFit. I shit on CrossFit a lot, But if
Yeah.
it's gonna keep you active, like I say, do that shit. Or maybe you might be like my son, who my son loves to work out when he's working out with his parents, but he's more into sports. He likes soccer, so you might even find you a sport you like and get back into that. As long as you're being, because there's like no rules to it. You make the own rules and whatever's gonna keep you consistent. Like my barber, he likes playing basketball, and he does a little bit of workout out in his house, and he's satisfied with it.
Yeah, I just do your normal I'll do the arm what is it, the one where you bring it crossed up like to your chest and then down. I forgot what it's
Okay,
called.
like a bicep curl.
Yeah, it's basically like that. I'll do
Okay.
that. And then I'll do damn. I do something like I'll pretty much train everything as far as my arms go. And
Okay.
then chest wise, I don't really do too much. Like I'll do the incline bench press, I'll do a regular bench press. Um and then I'll do I need to just naming a couple things offhand. And then like I don't really do too much for back wise. I mainly go for the shoulder wise. I've always had good shoulders. And then leg day has always been my favorite. So my
Okay.
legs have always been my strength.
Same.
Um,
My legs are strong. My chest is weak, so I got strong
yeah.
legs.
It's always that's always been my strength.
Okay.
But a buddy of mine, which I think we kind of touched based
Yeah.
on, he said, "What are your some of your bandless predictions?"
Honestly, I just predict Snake Eyes getting slaughtered. That's pretty much about it. Honestly, Snake Eyes getting slaughtered. Bells and the Smith stuff probably gonna get hit like a slap on the wrist. If not, probably E-band on like the Smith stuff is it's really toxic. Like you can do some nasty combos with that stuff.
Mm.
Um, whatever. It's like, the thing about the ban list is so unpredictable right now, but the obvious is like Snake Eyes and things, but like if they hit those, there's so many broken decks in the game. There's another deck that's going to come up and replace everything from the best deck because like branded Despia is still toxic as hell. Like a good branded Despia player will lock you out of your extra deck quick. So and then it's just too many good decks, and there's too many things they have to account for, which is why I kind of understand why it takes a long time to make a ban list, which is
Mhm.
why I'm all for just like block formats at this point because the game is too broken and it's gonna piss a lot of players off. But I think if players actually tried it, they would like it.
What uh, what cards would you hit from Snake Eyes?
Flamberge personally, Flamberge
Yeah,
Dragon needs to go.
that's what
That
I've heard.
Snake Eyes like it's a good deck, right? But I think Flamberge being a thing, like limiting to one or banning it, would be so good because they won't be. The thing about Snake Eyes, they make a big field. The field is not that hard to break, but where they beat you at is the advantage they get and how easy they get back into their fields. And they have so many different OTK lines where it's like, you're like, okay, I broke one field, but they have another line that goes and just beats you. So I think by hitting Flamberge, you kill the recovery plays.
In a way, Snake Eyes reminds me of Zodiac in a way.
Oh yeah, for sure. It was nutty like Zodiac, but I would say Snake. Yeah, like Zodiac. I mean,
As
same
far as
power
far
levels of the era,
yeah,
same power levels. So I can
as far as the recurability of the deck, like okay, my opponent pretty much. I mean, if you're a smart player, and
right.
don't just play the deck just to play the deck. You're able. Let's say your opponent breaks your board or whatever. All right, cool. I can just set up the same field once again. You
Yep.
know. Um, I'm trying to think. Like I've seen some of the Snake Eyes, but I've also seen like different what is it? I've seen a lot of diversity as far as the decks that some people were playing at Nats.
Oh yeah, Nas had a lot. There's a lot of good decks right now, but the best decks just overpower them. Like I would say honestly, if Snake Eyes get hit, Yugioh becomes the best deck. Then people are gonna play about Yugioh. Yubel needs to get hit with slap on the wrist, maybe Nightmare Throne to one. Maybe Phantom to one because Phantom breaks the fucking deck, but Phantom is also kind of needed to fix the brick hands in the deck. So Yubel doesn't need a Phantom ban, but Phantom needs to get hit at least to one, in my opinion. Eventually, maybe not now, but eventually.
You think
And then
Drake
once
come
you take
back?
care of those things, you can do more things for like other decks, like banning Albion and Sanctifier Dragon, so that way Branded Destiny can't just extra special summon lock you. And then I guess ban D Shifter, but because D Shifter does shit on a lot of good road decks, and it's really sacking. We're hitting it to one, making a luck sack card. So there's different things like that you could do. I think they need to also bring some cards back, but overall, whatever they need to do, they have high expectations, and if they don't live up to those expectations, people are going to be pissed. Like imagine if they dropped the ban list and gave everything meta a slap on the wrist. People are going to like, man, fuck this game, we're out.
Well, we've every ban list that's come out with, there's always been something somebody's gonna complain about.
True.
And then they're like, okay, I quit the game, blah blah blah. Or you have some returning players, like we were saying. I was actually about to bring this up too. Do you believe Maxi will come back?
I don't know. If it happens, I don't mind it because we already have Maxi replacements in the form of those more charming cards. So why not give us Maxi when we already have pseudo Maxis in the game? And we have a new one coming out next set that's essentially Maxi. Every time you special from your hand and extra deck, you draw. Every time your opponent special from the hand or the extra, you draw a card. So it's kind of like it's the same thing as Maxi.
Yeah,
so it's kind of like.
Oh, go ahead.
Like you can drop two of those in one turn, and you draw two. So why not give us Maxi back? Like,
well,
at this point.
I felt like too. So obviously, everybody's made the argument about Maxi coming back on every ban list. I felt like it can come back because of the simple fact we have so many counters in the game now that who cares about Maxi?
No, I agree. Now,
and even what crossout designators at what right now? Is it still at 3?
It's at 3, yeah.
Okay, so let's say, God forbid, it gets hit to 1 or 2, whatever. We'll just say 1 for hypothetical purposes. Okay, people are still going to end up running it like Call by the Grave was, and then but obviously doesn't cross out's a better card, but you could just cross out Maxi if you don't want to see it. If cross out doesn't get hit, that's another card you can add up on the list of being able to make sure your opponent doesn't play it.
Now I have a question too. What if Konami implements a new master rule to be just like Master Duel? So no more side decking, and turns take 2 minutes, no longer 2 minutes.
Oh, but see,
this is because you do know that's pretty much how Master Duel is. Like you're really timed on your plays at Master Duel. So like if you're a player like me who like to think thoroughly throughout your plays, you kind of gotta like learn your deck so good that you become robotic. Because if you don't, the timer's gonna get you, and if you time out, you auto lose. So imagine if Konami introduced a new master rule that pretty much make us feel like we're playing a master rule. Because and from their standpoint, tournaments go by a lot quicker, big events go by a lot faster. And they actually tested this in Japan, like I think it was pre-lockdown or during the lockdown, where they had like YCS Japan, and it lasted like 1 day. The entire event was 1 day because everything was like one game, or I think it was best 2 out of 3, no side decking. So it was kind of they played like one game and then went on to the next round. It was like really quick.
I see. So, I'll guess kind of answer that in a minute, but I do feel like that would be a good idea as well. But another thing too with that is as far as the timer goes, like are Konami gonna be like, okay, freeze play, and then, or are you going to be responsible for keeping up with that time? I know somebody had brought up them possibly bringing up an idea, which Master Duel pretty much is kind of similar, but it was at chess, I think it is, to where they do the little turn thing or whatever.
Right.
So something similar to that. I feel like, I feel like that could be a good idea, and it also to interrupts your opponent from being able to continue their combo or whatever. Of course, people are gonna complain about that too, but that's the
We got
community.
to do something, honestly. You know, it'd be cool if somebody implemented as well. So my buddy was telling me about something Digimon does. This is like kind of off topic, but I think it's just a cool
Mhm.
concept for card games. Digimon has an app that you can go to locals and play people casually, but there's a feature in the app that you can make it like a ranked game casually, and then you guys both report the winner in the app. And when you guys do that, you can win extra prizing and shit for the tournament pool.
That'd be dope.
So it's kind of like Tinder, but for like fucking dueling. So you guys
Well,
match, you guys meet up at locals that host the thing. You guys play your little tournament, and then you got without tournaments is a 1v1. You win points to get yourself hit on the leadership board and win products for the year.
I feel like somebody made an app, not like that, but to where you can find people in your area or locals
I
or
remember that like a
whatever.
couple years ago. I remember that like
Yeah.
2017.
So
Yep.
yeah, and then it just totally flopped. But needle fiber comeback, would it change the meta game? I mean, I feel like it probably would, depending on what they do to the
Yeah.
ban list. There, I mean, it would probably make the game even more stupid than it already
Well, imagine Fiber
is.
Jar.
Oh Lord. I
They
don't
brought
think
back
anything
Fiber Jar and
can
they
do
didn't do anything, but Fiber Jar would be fucking hilarious.
that. What is one band card that would change the meta?
Fiber Jar.
Yeah, I don't. I'd have to look at the list. I'll probably add that to my ban list video.
I think Fiber Jar, seriously though, I think literally if you ever want to play it, you literally set it, and if your opponent don't have a way to stop it, you guys are gonna both reshuffle your entire deck and draw 5. That can
So
completely change.
it's pretty much kind of like with how Pokemon does, to where if you don't have a basic Pokemon to put on your active zone,
Yeah.
you basically have to mulligan your hand until you have a basic Pokemon you can go ahead and put.
Yeah, and then not to mention as
So
well, my phone finna die, but
yeah,
not to
you're good,
mention as
man.
well, it's not the best thing since sliced bread, but if you get caught with it, it can board wipe. Because let's say if your opponent don't have a field of Omni negates and they attack into a Fiber Jar, you shuffling everything back into the deck. I mean, they're gonna lose the entire field. Graveyards go back in the deck, and you guys are both gonna draw 5. And
Yeah.
then if it's the opponent's turn, they already normal summoned already. They're done. They have to set one and pass. It pass to you. You can go full combo and OTK them.
Yeah, I feel like if they ever brought that back, they'd really have to slow the game down.
Oh yeah, it
For
probably won't go off a lot, but if it goes off, you pretty much gonna lose.
yeah, kind of like when somebody active. I saw at a recent event. I think it was in Berlin. Somebody activated fucking Regeki and then
Oof.
activated Harvey's Feather Duster.
Yeah, those are Tempai decks. They run like 3 Regekis, 3 Dark Holes, a bunch of hand traps, and just attack, synchronous attack. But bro, my phone's gonna die. I don't want
You're
to.
good, man. I was about
That's
to. I was
probably
about to. Yeah, I was about to
now I'm
end it
on
on that
3%.
note. All right, I'm gonna close it out. Thank you,
This is
Rogue
fun,
Hero.
bro, for
Thank
sure.
you, Rogue Hero, for joining. If you guys haven't checked out his channel, I'll link it down below.
Please subscribe. I need it.
And
Try to 25K subs.
let's go. And I'm sure we'll have more future stuff.
All right, for sure, man.
I
Peace.
appreciate you, man. I'm gonna kind of stay on here for a little bit, talk with y'all. So let's see. Is Dogwood a must side card? I feel like because of the way the game is right now, in order to kind of give you more of an advantage, because people are playing through hand traps anyways. I feel like it is a must. Now, depending on what happens this upcoming format, um, or ban list, it might determine, but I still feel like Dogwood's going to be a must. Now, if they bring something off the list, like Maxi or something, I mean, either people are going to side deck Maxi or they're going to main deck it, and they're going to have to choose whatever card they're going to end up wanting to run. Tempai hits, I don't really know too much about the Tempais. Like, I only know so much about like Snake Eyes and what was it? Fire Kings at the time. Of course, you got the gimmick bumpet stuff. Too new of a deck. Yeah, I mean, when there's new decks that are into the meta, and it's doing very well, not compared to like Snake Eyes or all the other decks, people always end up going. People always, what is it called? People always are gonna be like, oh well, this deck needs to get hit. It's not gonna happen. Maybe in the next list, but I don't see that happening. Skip Saturday and come to local is a world's tournament Saturday, bro. I don't have a way there, and I don't have a actual deck to play. So I haven't played since the last regional, I think, that we went to, and that was like what, April, maybe March. I don't remember. It was around that, but I'm not really too sure yet. Um, I want to still play the game, but I'm more trying to venture into like learning other games. Like like I was saying before, I've been messing around with Pokemon. I'm loving it. Um, I'm not saying like I'm gonna turn this channel into a Pokemon channel, but I might just keep it straight Yu-Gi-Oh and learn more into the game again, and then maybe do both, maybe stream both. I don't know yet. Um, I just kind of miss doing the content creation, and now that I have a good computer that I'm able to do video editing on, I'm able to do streaming and make videos. Who knows? I've tried to come back multiple times and left. So we'll see what happens. I mean, I can't really skip Saturday, or I can't really go anywhere Saturday because of the fact of I have to work 11 to 4. So if I had off, maybe. If I had a ride, then we'd go from there. So I don't even know what the rules for streaming on YouTube is, but yeah, I figured I'd do a little podcast with my homeboy. Been a minute. I figured we'd catch up a little bit, talk about the game since he's been playing for a while. And then, I mean, who knows? We might add new guests on here. Might be a consistent thing. Who knows? We'll see what happens, though. If y'all got anything else y'all want to ask, I can try and answer to the best of my ability. Not saying it's going to be the best like response, but we'll go from there. I got an extra day, bro. I can't play. I gotta work. I'm not about to skip work. I got debt I gotta pay off. Flew it out, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of wanted to play Flu for a while. I just never jumped on the hype train for it. I'm not gonna lie though. A deck I do want to try is the Fiendsmith Altergeist deck. That deck seems insane. I gotta keep the Altergeist train going. It's just that when I seen the way the Fiendsmith Altergeist deck looks, it doesn't play the same way I'm used to. And I don't know, I feel like there's too much like I think because of the fact that I've started playing Pokemon a little bit more, I've like took the terminology of Yu-Gi-Oh and was like, oh, that's too much setup. So list, I'll show you. I think I got it in my saves. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Um, and then I'll send it over to you. I don't know how good it is, but um, let's see, view channel. But yeah, if y'all got more questions, you'll play it Saturday. I bet. I mean, I'm down to chat about just about anything. So, what did I? Oh, I saved it under deck ideas, I think. No, I don't care about bonkers. Did I say where is it at? Maybe it's down here. Oh, I found it. Wait, is this the deck? No, that's Pokemon. That's Yu-Gi-Oh. I want to say that this is it. I'm gonna search it up real quick. Let's see if y'all got. I can work with it on Snap. Let's see. Oh, Snapple. Yeah, bro. I've been playing some Pokemon. Like it. Honestly, I like any other game. There's gonna be things to where oh they got it, but like it's not saying Yu-Gi-Oh's too complicated, but the game is very simplistic and there's not really much your opponent can technically do unless again they open up the fucking stones. But Fiend Smith Altergeist. I've been playing the Charizard. Let's see. What's the squat at? Bro, I don't know. It's been a hot minute. The last time I think I did it. Let's see. I think see 45s is what 80, 90, 90s, what 180. Probably close to 200 maybe. I don't know how many reps. I'm not really I don't really do too much on like rep wise. I don't remember the deck list. I feel like this is the deck list. I think it was Galzo that played the list. Oh, is he? Is he? Let me make sure this is the right list. What is this? No, that's Altergeist. That's the regular Altergeist. Is he not playing this Fiend Smith? No, he's not. Damn. I'll have to find the list later. I'll show you. Oliver's playing Pokemon 2. He's playing some cool. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure he's playing the Iron Leaves. I think it's Iron Leaves deck. I think that's like the top deck right now. That one Worlds. Um, I don't know how I feel about the deck. Like the deck is kind of cool, but leading into I think the new format, which I've been playing as a Charizard EX. I was mixing Arcanine EX with it too, and playing a little bit of like control to a point, but I don't know. I wasn't drawing what I needed. My matchups weren't what I wanted them to be, or not what I wanted them to be, but they what is it called? Like it just wasn't working how I wanted to play it. So I was like, well, let me play pure Charizard. And basically, there's new cards. I think they got reprinted, or there's a new card in there where pretty much you can evolve. I think to like stage 2 or stage 3, and then end up knocking your own guy out to put X amount of damage on like a Pokemon or whatever. So then they're gonna get a prize card, and then depending on what you're using it on, you'll end up damn, I'm trying to think of it. You'll end up getting a prize card, and like let's say you use it on their active Pokemon, it can be a meta call. Competitive wise, I don't know yet. You do because you won't know what exactly does what. And again, I'm constantly reading cards. If not, I just let them do what they do, and then I'll just do my thing. But back to what I was saying, you can knock out their active Pokemon, they can bring one back, and then you can pretty much maybe end up getting anywhere from 2 to 3 prize cards. So it's a toss up when you're building it. Exactly. I mean, yeah, like on what to put it in. I mean, it's with any other card game. You're trying to find out what works best in your deck. And the thing I like about Pokemon is you can almost put anything together. I mean, you got to be reasonable, but and win. Like I literally, so I was. This is the only time I've ever faced this deck, but it was a Wiglet deck. If I could find it, I'll show it. This literally, it's mill your opponent's fucking deck out. Like that. That's literally what the deck does. But I don't know. I'm having a lot of fun with it. I just I want Yu-Gi-Oh will always be my home. I'm always gonna want to play it. I constantly still have the itch to want to go to events and stuff, but from a cost effective, but the rotation is where it comes in. Yeah, I need to learn more about the rotation thing, but um, from a financial thing, from a financial point, I feel like right now Pokemon is probably better. Empty jar and Pokemon. Yeah, essentially. But like it's so much setup. Like that's the issue. There a lot of the decks have so much setup in Pokemon. Like it's crazy, but it's not like your opponent can really end the game right then and there. Like I just I enjoy it a little bit more, but that's probably because I've been away from Yu-Gi-Oh from Yu-Gi-Oh for so long, and I wanted something. And I mean, yeah, I could play on the computer, but it's not the same, I guess. But who knows? I mean, if I end up getting into streaming more here on YouTube, I might dive into like the Edison format and everything, or like other formats, um, and stream that. But I'm mainly on Pokemon right now as far as Twitch goes. I'm just trying to grow that, and then I don't even know if you say that on YouTube, but um, as far as YouTube wise, I might just stick to Yu-Gi-Oh. Like there's no point. Like I've my channel's probably dead. I thought about making a new one, but I've put so much effort into this channel. Like there's no point, and I could probably change the name, but people know me as Young Breezy 961 or Young Breezy. So who knows? Are you able to? You could share a screen on here, can't you? I actually want to show something real quick. So I posted this on my TikTok. I know this is supposed to be Yu-Gi-Oh, but fuck. I gotta go on TikTok, or is it? I think it might be Instagram. It's on in my Instagram. It's on that too. I don't even remember what my Instagram was. Not now. Search. But yeah, like I ended up top decking. Oh damn. Here it is. Thoughts on is it Lorcana? I think that's how you say it. I haven't really looked into it. Now I seen that there were like the Disney cards coming out, and I thought it was more of like collectible wise. Didn't realize it was more of a card game. But I've seen a lot of people playing it. Let me share screen real quick. I mean, I could look into it. It's definitely something that I like. If I can play online, I'll play it, and I ain't got to spend that much money. There we go. Let's see if y'all can see it. Oh, see, are you able to see it? Yeah. Watch this. I wanted a Charizard EX. Like, come on now. Your boy a goat at calling stuff. I mean, you know that for a fact. I mean, I called, let's see, we'll go back to it. Goki, when Goki came out, called it. I think I'm about to play it on Thursday. Why not? Why not give it a try? I mean, if it's another game that you can, master, and let's say you want to break from Yu-Gi-Oh, go play that. Like, sorry for the headphone users on that part too, for when I was showing the video, but yeah, I called Goki as a meta, Orcus as a meta. I don't think there was another deck that I called that was going to be meta. So, I don't know. But we'll see. I definitely want to do more content, whether it's streaming more, it's making videos. I just got to kind of not more or less find the time, but just pay more attention to the game. Because I'll go on Dueling Book, I'll look who's on, and I might watch a couple matches. I'll watch some videos, and that's it. Like, I don't really pay too much more attention to the game, more than I kind of have to, I guess, since I'm not really playing. But I guess it's good to still play the or watch the game to be more fluent with it. So, like, I still watch the events and everything. So I don't know. I'll definitely I'm gonna look it up right now, and then I'll check it out more, like, gameplay wise. And if it's something I definitely can, I could definitely get into and play, and maybe create content on it. We'll see. But I'm probably gonna jump off here because I do have to get up for work in the morning. So I appreciate everyone for joining. Hopefully, we'll do more podcasts. I love doing the podcasts. It's something that I've done with a couple other creators. Some of them aren't creators for Yu-Gi-Oh anymore, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. This is definitely not a one-off. I'm definitely going to try and put effort in this time. So appreciate y'all for coming in. It's Young Breezy signing out. Doses.